My name is Paul. I was here with the guitars, but now I'm here with another piece. So, yeah, I like being honest. And when I was called to this show the first time, we showed up, and I was coming to support Mr. Alex there. He does the songs. Big up to Alex, and I was doing the guitars for him. On the same note, if I'll be given permission to say that I train drum sets, guitars, right in Kamakwa. Maybe, if possible, my poster will be displayed on the screen. That is, if possible. If not, please get the message. Today, I wanted to, or rather tonight, I want us to learn something very unique that I called it the truth. Now, I know it's funny because truth by its definition tells us the philosopher is defined in three: logical consistency, empirical adequacy, and experiential relevance. Now, this is a talent show, right? So I know right earlier I was fearing to be screened. I'm gonna be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, but today, or rather the past few days, I agreed to be screened by people. Do you know why? I better tell you, right? I came to realize that most of my talking, especially right here in our country, people don't understand me, not unless they take some video and go and watch later. So I don't have a problem with that. But my point is, what if we would be truthful for a moment? Now, what we say that truth by definition must have logical, that is logical consistency, empirical adequacy, and experiential relevance. Is your truth logically consistent? Is your truth empirically verifiable? And is your truth experientially relevant? Can we experience what you're talking about? You know, and I talks about many issues that affect our day-to-day life. But oftentimes we know that I can talk for 10 hours. And therefore, with the few times at hand, I would like to talk just about one thing that I call stereotype. We all know that stereotype is whereby a certain person puts a fixed idea about you. But this is the specification, please. It's a negative idea. So a stereotype, they said a certain idea about you, but specifically, it's a negative idea. That's how I actually define stereotype. And you know what? I remember, you'll find me in some garage. I'm an automotive engineer to come, not yet, just in the training. And I remember going to purchase some spare parts somewhere, and the seller asked me a very funny question though. He asked, have they dreamt for you? Have they dreamt for you? Do you know what it means? They believe that people who are like me, we dream to get partners. So he asked me, have they dreamt for you, or you're still waiting for the dream? And this is my point to you, ladies and gentlemen. Regardless of what you believe about someone, don't group everybody who you think is considered to that category in that category. Don't stick to that, all right? I know right now you may like to clap because you're not understanding, but I thank God you have taken some videos. You're going to go and watch later, and you're going to laugh by yourself, right? And so no problem about that. I also figured out that we like social media. I personally like social media. You know, it's very funny how a good thought can, you know, circulate right in America. You got here in Kenya, you got somewhere in South Africa. Right now there is a football in Qatar, and you can watch it right here. So technology have done a good job. Clap for the technology if you can hear that, right? But I also want to put in the place that also negative ideas goes so first. And that is somehow heartbreaking to me. It is so heartbreaking to each one of you. I know that you might be trying to do something good, but all of a sudden it turns out to be negative. It is not your will. You're willing actually to do something good, but maybe you mess up somewhere and it turns out to be bad, and all of a sudden, surprisingly, the negative thing trends so fast. So I'm going to say this to you. Do not stereotype anyone who is laughing and smiling and doing great things in social media as a real, enjoyable person in real life. Some of them are having the hardest feelings that no one can pursue them. So I know that one is, it's actually notable maybe from every one of you. I know these, and Mr. MC, with your permission, I know this kind of a very unique talent, right? People don't expect you to expose this as a talent. But I also want to say this. What if we take the truth as is? Someone maybe is expecting me to quote the Bible. There's also that stereotype, no problem. But I'm going to tell you this. There is this man called Pilate. And if you look the story of Pilate in encounter with the Messiah, he asked the most important question he could have ever asked. He asked, what is truth? And walked away. Imagine that. Imagine that. Standing in front of him who claimed to be the way, the truth, and the life, and he just walked away. He wasn't sure he would get an answer. Because this is my point to you. I will not take long, but this is my point to you. I don't know what you believe, right? And I'm not forcing you to believe in what I believe. But the moment you ask, what is truth? You already go contrary to your expectations. You don't have to ask, what is truth? Not unless you give truth life and you ask, who is truth? Not unless you reach to a point of accepting that a truth is a living, existential being. Not unless you agree that a truth by its own self, it's something that it's living like you're living and I. You will never get truth in its definition when you try to define it as any other given pursuit. When we come to the stereotypes, we see truth about it. You can feel it, right? Maybe some of you have found yourself in those messes. Maybe some of you have found maybe stereotyping others. I want to believe that a mistake to me is not a mistake unless repeated. And therefore, I want to believe that we can change from this point and going forward. I remember a certain time I was in Nairobi, and I was new there. I was going to apply some of the things right at Nyayo House. It was very late, and I actually got my appointment in the late hours, and I was told, go to Ngara and get the DO to write you some report. You need a rectification for your ID, and come back tomorrow in the morning. And if you miss, you're going to book another appointment and make other payments. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I want to surprise you here. Everybody here thinks that policemen are good people who can support you, right? They protect us. By the way, we can clap for our policemen. They actually give us protection, safety. They assure us right now we are safe here because we believe someone somewhere outside there is keeping safety, right? But I want to tell you this. I went to the police station, and some policemen welcomed me in, and I told them my story, and I told them, you know what, guys, my phone have switched off. So, and all my money is right in the M-Pesa. I don't have any other way. One told me, you can just sit right here next to the OB office, and probably in the morning you'll do your job and then go away. Few hours, maybe it was, because I didn't have a watch, but I believe it was about 12 midnight or something. Other policemen came and told me, I want to quote what exactly they told me. Wewe Mukurino unafanya nini hapa? And I was like, I was told by your fellow, or rather your colleague, that I should spend my night here because out there is not safe, and then I would maybe go away tomorrow. Surprisingly, they sent me away, and I didn't have to push because maybe they would do something worse. So I went out, and I was helped by a certain soldier who was guarding a garage, and I slept in the vehicle till morning. So I want to say this to you tonight, and even as we enjoy ourselves, even as we actually spend our night here, and even as we proceed with our lives, if truth can be part of you, you will never regret of what you're doing in life. But if you try to fake your life, however bad you want it to be good, it will always go to the contrary to your expectation. However bad you want to pull it to you, it will always go away to you. I know, ladies and gentlemen, most of you here are young. I want to believe that, right? And we are looking for money, isn't it? Let's be honest to each other. We are looking for money, right? Let me give you one saying in Jews. It is a very ancient saying. Probably you heard it already. They say like this: God is like the light. Happiness and prosperity are like the shadow. Now, the principle works this way, or rather the law, for those who are in school, they know some laws state something, and you cannot change that law. You cannot violate the law, right? So the law states this: when you go towards the light, the shadow, so no matter how bad you want the money, you must go towards your maker, and they will follow you. You got a car, it's okay, but leave it. Just continue your journey. You got a big house, it's okay, but continue going to your maker. You got something better, right? But it's okay. But the moment you think that with your own moral bootstrap, you're gonna make a heart and my heart. We don't need all those other arenas. I need your heart. You need my heart. We need each other. I don't need all this building. I need you as a human, right? So I want to rest my case on that, and I want to say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. I know that you're gonna remember this, but my prayer is that you don't remember it when you have already messed. It's not a good idea, right? You need to remember it and keep you moving you good. Thank you very much. I really appreciate for listening to me.